Hi, this is Kendra from Debunking Addiction, and I just wanted to do a video check-in because I really like video check-ins. I like to hear a person's voice and see a person. I love reading blogs, but I also really find that that personal touch helps get, the audience, feel more connected with the person that's doing the writing. And I just wanted to kind of check base on where I've been, where I'm going, and talk about how important self-care is in the process of recovery and in life. Last week, I took a break from blogging, mainly because I was overwhelmed. I was not taking time for me. I was taking on too many projects. And I just was getting crippled with anxiety. I was struggling with sleeping. I wasn't hungry, and my body, mind, soul was screaming at me that I needed to stop. And I guess the lesson that I learned in all of this, is that the world doesn't fall apart if you say, I need time for me. And actually, people really respect it and respond with support, which, duh. I'm a self-care lover, self-love lover, and I constantly talk about the importance of self-care in life for all people. But, sometimes the lessons that we learn, we kind of learn and relearn and crash and burn and have to relearn it. And that's fine. This is the journey of life and the journey of an advocate and for a person in recovery in life and trying to, get everything together. And, I just wanted to talk about the true importance of self-care. We hear of the word self-care. It's always, I read it in a lot of blogs and a lot of stories, about how important self-care is for anxiety, how important self-care is for sleep, how important it is for, your mental health, and all these things are true. And, in recovery, in early sobriety, I definitely think that at that point we are struggling with, stopping the negative behavior that is self-harming to ourselves, and we're trying to learn new skills and, healthy coping skills, as, I learned in IOP and rehab. And so we learn what works for us to incorporate when we are in life and need to face, when we're facing triggers, what do we do? And those healthy coping skills, in a way, involve, of course, there are CBT, DBT, there's techniques that are, therapeutic techniques, but also there are a lot of self-care areas that are covered by this, and I feel that healthy coping skills that we learn in early recovery and in sobriety are actually what helps pave for life after recovery and in life, because I think that it creates healthy habits in general. And I know that had I not gone through and replaced negative behaviors with positive ones that helped me cope with life, I don't think I would have understood that, it was important to do those things as a preventative measure as well, and not just a crisis crisis solving technique. That, self-care and taking time for ourselves and listening to what's going on in our lives is important to prevent as well as to handle struggles. And I realized that in this crash and burn that I had last week, that I was not listening to myself. I wasn't listening to the little voice inside my head that was saying, you are doing too much. And I had mentioned it to my partner. I had said, I think I'm worried I'm taking on too much. And he goes, well, maybe you are. And yet the other side of my head was going, oh, no. You've got to go, 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 do, do, do. You can totally be superhuman and do 12 million things and, never take breaks, and you don't have to worry about sleeping, and whew, my enough tyrant and should monster in the head going, you should. But I realized, I think that the breakdown that I had and the anxiety that came with it, which was crippling and devastating, and I did go to the doctor and I set up a plan to get out of it. But it really, I'm on this journey of life as well. I'm constantly learning lessons. And I think that it's how we handle the struggles that matter. And I hope that there are lessons to learn within the struggle for you, and especially for me too, that we can learn from the struggle and be able to get out of the struggle and then make a plan for the future to help prevent or, lessen crashes in the future. And that's kind of how my entire recovery journey has been. It's been incorporating healthy skills into my life, to which then become healthy habits that then become natural and help me, be able to approach life in a, healthy, balanced manner, listening to who I was, you know. And in this last breakdown, I, emailed HealthyPlace, and they were kind enough to let me have a week off, and the world didn't fall apart. I took some time off of social media, and it just was a really good reminder that self-care is a must-do. It's not an option. It needs to be incorporated in our daily lives. It's not selfish. And also, I didn't think it was fair for me to be blogging and to try to reach out to other people and help them, when I don't think we can be there for anybody else if we don't take care of ourselves first. I think that, our own individual health needs to come first in order to be better able to give to others. And it was a hard reminder that the one that needed help and support was me, the advocate, the person that, in my head saying, you should have it all together now. You've been doing this several years. And so I think that self-care is, to me, one of my life's messages and journeys. And I like to talk about it, and I like to write about it, and I like to share that I'm doing it, because I think it's really important to get it in people's brains that, this is something that is truly important to our health, over mind, body, and soul, our entire health of who we are and what we represent. And, if we don't take the time for ourselves, we could potentially be setting ourselves up for a crash that we don't even see coming. And, in recovery, I often would be like, oh my God, where did this desire to drink, why am I freaking out? And last week I realized that it was the first time that I had gotten the amount of anxiety and the panic attacks, on a daily basis throughout the day. I was getting panic attacks. That was the first time that I had had that overwhelming feeling since I was drinking. And when I was drinking and I had those overwhelming panic attacks, of course I was self-medicating with alcohol. So it was very weird and scary, because I didn't have any desire to drink. That's not the issue. But it was like a flashback to that period of time where I had the alcohol that didn't, of course, doesn't work in the long run, but that was a snap solution to the problem.